You think she's not interested. She acts distant, calm, untouched by anything you do. She pretends your presence doesn't shift her heartbeat, doesn't interrupt her thoughts, doesn't pull something out of her. She doesn't want you to see. But what if I told you? Her coldness is not indifference. It's camouflage. It's the shield she builds when the fantasies she has about you become too vivid, too consuming, too dangerous to let slip through her expression. Because the truth is simple. The more she pretends not to want you, the more her mind betrays her in private. She doesn't want you to see the version of herself your presence awakens, the version that loses control, the version that imagines giving in, the version she doesn't allow the world to know exists. That version scares her, and that's exactly why she hides it behind distance. Her silence isn't emptiness, it's pressure. It's the weight of every thought she refuses to let surface, every image she pushes back down, every impulse she denies the moment it rises. And while she plays calm on the outside, her imagination is building an entire world around you. One she'll never confess, one she hopes you never sense, one she retreats into when she's alone. This video reveals the fantasies women have about the man they pretend not to want, and why her silence is never the full story. When a woman suppresses desire, it doesn't fade, weaken, or dissolve. It mutates. It slips out of her conscious control and sinks into the one place she cannot police, her imagination. Every time she tells herself she shouldn't want you, shouldn't think of you, shouldn't react to you, that suppressed energy has to go somewhere, and it goes into fantasy. Women are conditioned their entire lives to hide want. They're taught to be subtle, contained, emotionally controlled. They learn to downplay their reactions, to never appear too eager, to never reveal how deeply someone affects them. So when a man triggers something real inside her, her first instinct isn't expression, it's concealment. Pretending not to want you is her defense mechanism, the mask she uses to keep control of her world, her image, and her emotional safety. But that pretense does nothing to silence what's happening internally. In fact, it intensifies it. The more she resists the pull she feels toward you, the more her imagination fills in the space she refuses to explore in real life. And the fantasies she creates in private? Those are the purest, rawest reflections of her attraction. Because fantasy is the one place she doesn't censor herself. Fantasy doesn't demand composure. It doesn't judge. It doesn't expose her to rejection, vulnerability, or consequences. In fantasy, she can want fully, freely, without restraint. She can explore the version of herself she hides from everyone else, the version that lets go, that feels deeply, that surrenders instead of controlling. And this is the part most men never realize. Her imagination reveals her truth far more than her behavior does. Her actions are rehearsed. Her silence is strategic. Her distance is protective. But her fantasies? They're involuntary. They slip out when she's tired, when she's alone, when she thinks no one would ever guess what she's picturing. They appear in the quiet moments, right before she falls asleep, right when she wakes up, right after a conversation with you she pretends didn't affect her. She can stop herself from texting you. She can stop herself from flirting back. She can stop herself from showing interest. But she cannot stop the scenes her mind creates the moment your name enters her thoughts. She can control her actions, but she can't control the world she escapes to when she thinks of you. When a woman pretends she doesn't want you, she isn't erasing the desire. She's containing it. And containment always has a breaking point. The truth she will never admit out loud is that the very man she denies publicly is often the one she fantasizes about surrendering to privately. Not because she's weak, not because she lacks control, but because surrender is the one experience she never allows herself to have in the real world. In her fantasies, she imagines the moment she stops resisting. Not the polite version of herself, not the careful version, but the version that finally lets the tension she's been holding collapse. She imagines the moment you take the lead, not forcefully, but confidently, stepping into the space she pretends isn't there, closing the distance she pretends she doesn't feel. And most of all, she fantasizes about the moment she lets herself lose control with you. The moment her mind stops policing her impulses. The moment she stops thinking and starts feeling. The moment the self she hides from everyone becomes the self you bring out of her effortlessly. Women don't fantasize the way men do. Their fantasies aren't focused on physicality. They're focused on power, emotional power, psychological power, the shift from control to surrender, because desire grows strongest where she feels the least power. The man she can predict, he creates comfort. The man she can't control, he creates desire. In the real world, that dynamic terrifies her. It exposes her. It makes her feel too much. So she rejects it with her words, denies it with her behavior, conceals it behind coldness. But the fantasy reveals the truth she can't let slip. It's not sex she imagines with you. It's surrender. Surrendering the guarded parts of herself she never shows the world. Surrendering the pressure she carries behind her composure. Surrendering the side of her that wants a man strong enough to pull her out of her own control. And the man she fantasizes surrendering to is always the one she pretends not to want. She doesn't fantasize about you noticing the obvious parts of her, the smile she chooses, the tone she controls, the indifference she performs. What she imagines, what truly pulls her into a world she can't admit to, is you noticing what she hides. The tension in her voice when she pretends she's unbothered. The longing she buries behind a practiced calm. The softness she refuses to reveal because softness makes her vulnerable. And the fear of wanting you too much, too openly, too visibly. That fear is the core of her fantasy. In her imagination, you see through her "I don't care" act effortlessly. You catch the exact moment her mask slips, the moment her eyes soften, the moment her voice betrays her composure. You recognize the desire she refuses to say aloud, the desire she tries to bury with distance, sarcasm, or calm detachment. She dreams about the version of you who doesn't fall for her performance, the version who notices the shift in her breathing when you get close, the version who sees the truth in the silence between her words, the version who reads the longing she's terrified will make her look weak. Because for her, fantasy is not about being wanted. It's about being seen. Seen beyond the exterior she's spent years constructing. Seen past the layers of self-protection, past the controlled behavior, past the role she thinks she must play. She imagines you seeing the real woman beneath the act, the one who feels deeply, who wants intensely, who hides those wants because she fears their power. And in that fantasy, you don't expose her, you understand her. You don't mock her vulnerability, you hold it. You don't let her hide. You meet her where she's most afraid to be seen. That's why this fantasy pulls her so strongly. Because pretending not to want you is exhausting. Keeping the mask on is exhausting. But imagining someone powerful enough and perceptive enough to see through it, that's the part she can't resist. She fantasizes about being discovered, because the version of herself she hides is the version she secretly wants you to find. The man she pretends not to want is never the harmless one. He is the one who threatens her emotional safety, not because he's dangerous in the literal sense, but because he awakens feelings she cannot control, cannot rationalize, cannot neatly contain inside the persona she shows the world. That's why she denies him so intensely, not to push him away, but to protect herself from what wanting him would unleash inside her. In her private world, the fantasy she never admits is this: you getting close enough to break her defenses, not by force, by presence, by the way you look at her, the way you read her, the way you make her feel transparent, even when she tries to be unreadable. She imagines you slipping past the emotional walls she built long before you arrived. Walls designed to keep her from getting hurt. Walls that begin to crack the moment you enter the room. She imagines you provoking feelings she can't explain. Feelings that go deeper than attraction, deeper than want. Feelings that shake the identity she's crafted around being in control. Because you represent something she can't predict, something she can't steer, something she can't dominate with charm, silence, or distance. And that unpredictability awakens desire in its rawest form. She also imagines the most dangerous scenario of all: you becoming the one man she can't forget, the one man who lives in the spaces she can't hide from, her thoughts, her impulses, her fantasies, the one man whose emotional impact lingers long after the conversation ends, the one man who could ruin her plans simply by existing. But that danger doesn't push her away. It intensifies everything she feels. Desire becomes sharper when paired with risk. The risk of losing her composure, losing her independence, losing the version of herself she shows the world. The danger isn't you. The danger is who she becomes around you, who she could become if she stopped resisting. That's why she hides, why she denies, why she pretends not to feel what she feels. Because you don't just attract her, you unbalance her. You reach the parts of her she keeps locked away from everyone else, and admitting that would mean giving up the illusion that she's fully in control of her emotions. The truth is simple and brutal. She fears you, not because she doesn't want you, but because she wants you more than she planned to. Your body reacts to truth long before your mind is willing to accept it, and the same is true for her. A woman's desire doesn't begin in her thoughts. It begins in her nervous system, in the instinctive responses she cannot control, suppress, or logically explain. The fantasies she has about you aren't consciously chosen. They're triggered, and the triggers are almost always subtle. Your tone, the calmness, the certainty, the unshakable masculine steadiness, hits her first. A man's tone can destabilize a woman's emotional defenses more effectively than any compliment. When your voice doesn't waver, when it holds quiet strength, her body responds before she can tell herself not to. Then comes your confidence. Not arrogance, not loudness, but the kind of internal solidity that makes you unmovable in any room. This is what awakens her imagination. Confidence sends a message her biology cannot ignore. This man is safe to surrender to. Even if her mind resists that message, her body doesn't. The way you hold eye contact goes even deeper. A steady gaze disarms her. It reaches parts of her that language cannot touch. If she feels seen, but not judged, her fantasies start forming without her permission. She imagines what it would feel like if that same gaze held her closer, deeper, longer. And the most powerful trigger of all is the one she can't articulate, the way you don't chase. The moment she realizes she can't pull you off your center, can't control your attention, can't manipulate your emotion, something primal fires inside her. Her mind may whisper, "Ignore him," but her body leans in. Her mind may say, "He doesn't care," but her pulse betrays her. Her mind may insist, "He's not the one I want," but her fantasies prove otherwise. Because the truth she tries to silence is the truth her body speaks first. Desire is not a choice. It's an awakening, an involuntary response to masculine presence she cannot manufacture or resist. Long before she decides whether you fit into her life, long before she labels you friend, stranger, or mistake, her biology has already made its decision. She pretends not to want you because her body wants you first. There is always a breaking point, a moment when the fantasy she's been suppressing becomes louder than the fear that kept it hidden. It doesn't happen gradually. It happens in a snap, a psychological collapse where her imagination overtakes her logic. She stops fighting the thoughts she's been wrestling with, and instead of trying to erase you from her mind, she starts letting the images play out. In that moment, denial loses its grip, and desire takes over completely, and the signs of that collapse are unmistakable. She begins remembering small details about you, details she had no reason to store, yet they stay with her like fingerprints on her thoughts. The way you said something, the expression you had when you looked at her, a joke you made that she pretended wasn't funny, but replayed anyway. She blushes when your name comes up, not dramatically, but enough that her body betrays the shift happening inside her. She gets jealous without admitting why, reacting sharply or coldly when other women are mentioned around you. She doesn't call it jealousy, but the emotion burns just the same, and her tone changes when she says she doesn't care. That sentence is her favorite shield, but the softness, the tension, or the hesitation in her voice exposes the truth. She cares more than she can safely admit. This is when you start to live in her mind, not as a passing thought, not as a curiosity, but as a presence she can't push out. Her imagination becomes a place she visits more often, especially at night, especially when she's alone, especially when no one can see the cracks in her composure. She thinks about conversations that never happened, scenarios she wishes she could deny, possibilities she's afraid to want. She imagines how it would feel if she stopped pretending and let herself fall into the gravity she's been resisting. And the more she imagines it, the more real it becomes to her inner world. By the time she reaches this stage, the fantasy has already won. Her mind may still fight, her behavior may still hide, but her desire has already chosen. When she can't stop imagining you, she's already yours internally. The woman who truly doesn't want you doesn't blush, doesn't tense, doesn't overthink, doesn't replay moments in her mind. She feels nothing, and nothing is the clearest answer a man will ever get. But the woman who pretends not to want you, she feels too much, too intensely, too deeply. Her distance is calculated. Her coldness is curated. Her silence is self-defense. She isn't avoiding you because you mean nothing. She's avoiding you because you mean too much. That is the paradox men overlook. Her denial isn't rejection. Her denial is the confession. If she truly didn't want you, she wouldn't need to deny anything. She wouldn't need to hide her reactions, control her breathing, rehearse her indifference, or maintain the illusion that you don't affect her. The woman who feels nothing has nothing to manage. But the woman who feels everything, she must suppress it to survive the intensity. Her silence isn't absence. Her silence is the signal. It's the barricade she builds to protect herself from the pull she feels toward you, the pull she doesn't want you to see, Because seeing means exposing the part of her she keeps buried from the world. And the fantasy? The fantasy is the truth, because you cannot lie in the world you create for yourself. Her imagination is the one place she stops pretending, the one place her desire is honest, the one place her body and mind align without fear of consequence. Men misunderstand this more than anything else. They listen to her words instead of watching her reactions, instead of noticing the cracks in her composure, instead of seeing the way she tenses, not from dislike, but from wanting to hold back the part of herself that wants more. The woman who pretends not to care is the one who goes to war with her emotions. And wars are never fought over indifference. They're fought over desire. Forbidden desire. Overwhelming desire. Desire that terrifies her enough to hide behind a mask. Once you understand this, her behavior stops confusing you. The signs stop contradicting themselves. Everything becomes clear. The woman who truly doesn't want you disappears. The woman who pretends not to want you lingers, watches, reacts. Fantasy replaces denial. Emotion replaces logic. Want replaces restraint. If you only knew what she imagines when she's alone, you'd never believe her when she says she doesn't want you. If this video opened your eyes, if it revealed even one truth you've felt but could never name, then understand this. You've only scratched the surface of how women operate in the private world they never speak about. The fantasies she hides, the impulses she suppresses, the emotions she denies, even to herself. These are the parts of female desire men almost never see, because they're buried beneath layers of silence, fear, and performance. But once you start recognizing the patterns, once you learn to see the difference between what she shows and what she feels, you stop living in confusion. You stop being misled by her calm voice, her distant posture, her carefully controlled reactions. You stop assuming her silence means she feels nothing, and you begin to understand something far more dangerous. The quietest women often carry the loudest fantasies. If you want the next video revealing the hidden fantasies women never speak about, subscribe now. Not because it helps the channel, but because it helps you. Because once you understand the private world of female desire, you stop listening to what she says and start recognizing what she can't admit. You'll see the truth behind her hesitation. You'll hear the tension in her voice differently. You'll notice the shift in her breathing, the softness in her eyes, the moment her body betrays everything her words try to conceal. Most men never notice these things. Most men go their entire lives believing that women are simple, predictable, easy to read. They never realize how much is happening underneath the surface, how much is being felt but never spoken, how much desire is disguised as distance, and how much longing is hidden behind the phrase, "I don't want you." If you're not like most men, if you want to understand the real language of female attraction, the silent signals, the unconscious impulses, the psychological triggers, then subscribe. This is where men come to wake up. Share this with someone who still believes her silence means she feels nothing. Show it to the friend who keeps misreading women, who keeps chasing the wrong signals, who keeps missing the ones that matter. And comment your experience. Because every man has met a woman who pretended not to want him, while her fantasies told a very different story. Welcome to the level of awareness most men never reach.